Welcome along to the Lifting and Life podcast. I'm Cam, I'm the host, and today I'm chatting with Jurins Kengamu. And you'll notice that today's format is quite different to a standard podcast, and that's because it was a live interview I did with Jurins at a powerlifting seminar down in London. How this all came about was quite coincidental actually. I was thinking, this was like last year, I was thinking, man, I'd really like to do some in-person events, whether that's like an in-person podcast or a talk, or I don't know, just like doing something with people in person that's more than just like a one-on-one podcast. And then Rob Palmer, who you might have listened to some episodes, he's come on the podcast a few times, he reached out and he was like, hey man, I'm running a powerlifting seminar for the first time down in London. Would you like to do an interview with Jurins? And I just thought, yeah, why not? What's the worst that could happen? So I signed up for it, and it ended up being a pretty big day of travel, honestly, from Manchester, jumping on a train to London and then a tube and then another train and then an Uber. But all of the time and the effort was so worth it. I genuinely enjoyed this experience, and it's something I would like to pursue more this year if it's possible, potentially maybe even running like Lifting and Life in-person seminars or whatever you want to call it, where I do a live podcast and we do a bit of a Q&A. But anyway, getting back to this episode, it's a live one, but it still is very much a podcast where it's question and answer based. I don't say too much. It's more about me asking Jurins questions, because we were working to about a 30-minute time limit, so I tried not to waffle on too much. But the theme of the day was mindset and adversity. So a lot of my questions for Jurins are focused around those topics. But outside of that, we ended up talking about things like solitude, the cost of winning, and the importance of setting boundaries in your life, and how Jurins does that, because he's not only a very successful powerlifter, he's also got a high corporate job, he's a dad, he's got all these other things that are on in his life as well. So we really explore how he's able to manage all of those things. But as always, I hope you enjoyed the episode, and I'd be interested to hear your thoughts on what you think of this format too. So if you'd like to leave a comment or flick me a message or whatever, I'd be interested to hear what you think. Hope you enjoyed the episode, and remember, you make you. And before I start too, a bit of a caveat, I have no tear tubes, so I get quite a lot of water in my eyes. So if you see me wiping my eyes, I may or may not be crying. Probably not crying, but hopefully not. So just wait till we're ready to roll. And this is the first time I've done anything like this too, like in a live format. I don't know about you. Have you done anything?
Yeah,
the live audience? Yeah? Because I know you have your own podcast too, right?
Yes.
Cool. Are we good to kick off?
Quick question.
Yeah.
What we'll focus on here
is this button.
Okay.
Yeah. Sweet. Well, I guess we kick it off. Typically, podcast formats might be a bit longer, like an hour and a half. So I'm going to do my best to keep this to roughly 30 minutes. So we'll try not to waffle on too much, but we'll do our best. Where I thought we could start is if you could just give us a bit of an understanding of what powerlifting means to you. Like, what does the sport of powerlifting mean to you?
I think over the years I've asked myself that question so many times, but I will probably say it's almost like an escape nowadays, where I can go in, lock myself in my own garage and do what I need to do. So it become like, because again, outside powerlifting, I have a very busy life. I'm a father, I'm a partner, and I'm a banker. So there's a lot, and I work for very, very, very prestigious people and expect a lot from me. So sometimes when I get out of that world, I just want to go to a place where it's just me and the place. That's why I train alone, and sometimes I don't even play music. I just listen to the sound of the plates banging. And yeah, it's become really like escape place for me where I just go there and just be me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where do you think you would be? Because I see you training in your garage and it's been freezing cold the past few days. I saw that. Where do you think you would be without that element of solitude? Like if you didn't have that time to escape and just be with yourself? Like,
I think I probably wouldn't be this far where I am now, because it's almost that sense of when it's brilliant when you train with people. You have got the same mindset, as I said, iron sharpen iron. But I don't think I benefit from being around the crowd when I train. So if I had a group of people like I used to train before, I don't think I'll push myself to the point where I am now. Because a good friend of mine a couple of years ago was telling me, you're a strong guy, you need to train with people that will be able to push you to the limit. But I already know how to push myself to the limit. As I always say, if I load the weight in my garage, it's because I can do it. If I can't do it, I will not be able to load it. So I don't like relying on people around me for me to do overboard. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? So if I didn't have that, I don't think I would be this far. So yeah.
That's interesting. I feel like so many people might say the opposite,
yeah.
where they're stronger when they train with people.
Yeah, that's what I said. Like, a lot of people benefit from the crowd.
Yeah.
They benefit from iron sharpen iron, but me, I don't, because I've always been a lone wolf all my life. Right, I had a very distinct upbringing into a military dad. Everything was really regimented. So if it's set on the wall, it's 10 o'clock, it's 10 o'clock. If it's 2:20, it's 2:20. So I don't need somebody else to tell me, "May, you've done this before, do it, you can smash it." Yeah. No. Sometimes even when I get these people, when they come to my garage to train, you get these friends coming in, you load the weight, they're trying to psych you up a little bit. I was like, hang on, are you forgetting I've been doing this for 5 years here alone, right? No disrespect to you, but I just need that time for me. So I just benefit training by myself and getting stronger, yeah.
How about when it comes to, because I know a theme of today was also a bit about dealing with adversity. How about when it comes to dealing with adversity? Are you still that kind of lone wolf mentality, or do you have more of a circle that you lean on in those times?
It's hard to say whether, if I said I would say I don't have that circle. So I have a problem in my house where my missus, I have got a missus that is really on the other end of the spectrum, where she's really emotional. Everything is like, she's so empathetic with things. And you get me on the other side, where just a stone cold killer there, just sitting there, just watching everything. When people cry, I'm thinking like, should I cry? No, I'm not gonna cry. Do you know what I mean? So it's just, again, I think it goes down to my upbringing. You know, being the firstborn as an African, they raise you differently. You know, you can't become a different animal. You're not just an alpha in your pride, or it's just you become this element of, let's just say like the standard bearer of your family. So to me, when adversity come in, I always say, look, if I dealt with what I dealt with in the past, I can deal with this. I don't need anybody else around me. But the older I get, things change, especially now I have a family. I understand now when things happen, you need other people that qualify to support you. So I'm starting to bring, like most of my posts, I would say I'm bringing my team in. So now of course I had a nutritionist, now I have got a coach, and I have got a sport massage, and I have got a sports psychologist. So these guys are coming in to contribute in the expertise with me. So I understood that later on that I need that. But in the past, I thought like, yeah, I could do this myself, so yeah.
To zoom in on the adversity a bit, I'm thinking maybe, given any sport, there's going to be unmet expectations. Like you have obviously high expectations for yourself when you compete. What does it look like when you don't meet those expectations, when they don't come to fruition?
Oh, me, I think it's just like any other day for me. So the easiest example I can give you is Malta. I went to Malta last year, as I said. I was probably the strongest 83 in the world due to the training. I was my prep. So in training, I was doing 820s, 815 every other 4 weeks, right? And no other 83 was doing that. I'm going there, I'm the strongest 83 in the world, so I shouldn't be worried. And on that day, as we all know, when in powerlifting, we always don't plan days. And of course, I end up getting 1 squat out of 3. I was like, okay, that's good. But to me, As soon as I came out of the squat with one, I'm a squatter, right? So when your best lift doesn't go well, you know, I knew already my day was over. So I said, okay, so it took me, I kid you not, it took me 5 minutes to process the entire competition and the entire prep. I said, look, I came out with one squat, it didn't go too well, so now let's go and bench, deadlift, and go on holiday. That's it. Literally, after that, I never thought about how the competition went, what went bad, what went wrong. And my team, of course, I had the coach, I had Kedricks. They started looking at what went wrong. I was like, no, stop doing this. We had this call, let's figure out about it. I was like, no. We fucked up, all right? And let's move on from it. I don't want you ever to come and tell me we did this wrong, we did this right. No, right? I didn't perform, you know? So you guys did your job how you could have done your job because I trusted all of you guys. I didn't perform, that's on me. So next time, I will do better. I just move on. So it's about moving on to the next one. So I don't dwell on my competition. I don't dwell on my, as I was telling Sherry earlier, a bad training session does not make me a bad lifter. So why would a bad comp make me a bad lifter? So I just move on from it.
Is that something you developed yourself, or did you learn that from someone or from your experience? How did you develop?
I think that, again, is over the years, right? So I came to this country, I wasn't born here. I came here, I was like 11 or 12. So I was born in a very luxurious life, right? And I left that behind. I came here where everything started from new. You know, we live in a 1-bedroom flat. There was like 7 of us. I'm thinking, what the hell is this? This bedroom flat is not even bigger than my kitchen back home. Do you know what I mean? So all of that lifestyle taught me a lot. In a way, like as Sherry said earlier, everything is temporary for me. So I've learned that from then. I was like, okay, no matter what happens now, it's just not what's gonna be tomorrow. So I've learned it from get-go, so yeah.
And with the theme of being mindset today, I was trying to come up with some mindset questions. And one that I thought of was, when it comes to the sport of powerlifting, how does your mindset over a long period of time compare to your mindset when you step onto the platform? Like, what are the different psychological approaches to the long term versus that like short term you're going up for one lift?
For the long term, my dad told me one thing when I was a kid. He said to me, push. No matter what happens in life, you always have to push because you don't know when the doors will open. And then the older I get, just before I went to university, he called me to his place. He said, I'm needing to explain to you why that push meant. So the word push is spelled P-U-S-H, right? He said to me, P is the push, U is the until something happened. That's what the word push means. So I got that and I use it almost like a shield with everything I do in the long term wise. Because I always say to myself, if something does not happen now, remember the word push is still, I still got a few letters, right? I'm still on the P. There's a U, there's a S, and there's a H. So I'm still on the P. Even now, like, of course, I won Lithuania, I'm going to Sheffield. But in my head, I'm thinking, I'm just in the U now, right? I've pushed and until now, that's where I am. And something have to happen. So I still go like two letters to go. So that's how I see my mind, I see things in the long term. But in the short term, what I'm about to be on the platform is, I've learned over the years to almost split that persona of Jurins into so many different personas. I've got Jurins, the worker, when I work for my boss. When I put a suit on, people don't know that I'm a powerlifter. I sit there, my boss was like, you guys know this is one of the strongest powerlifters on the planet. I just sit there, people like, nah, it can't be. You know what I mean? I was meeting some Americans, and they look at me like, nah, you can't even bench like 300 pounds. I was like, I had to get my calculator. What's 300 pounds?
How many kilos?
I was like, come on, I can do that for reps. So basically, I've learned how to separate that persona. You know, there is Jurins, the banker. There is Jurins, the father and the partner. There's Jurins, the lifter, and there's a Jurins as a son and as a friend. And I've really learned how to split these people, these personas. So when I'm getting on the platform, from my warm up, I am Jurins, the friend to everybody on that warm up room. I'm not the type of lifter where I get in the zone, I don't want to talk to people, and I start staring people left, right, and center. I don't do that. I'm in a warm up, I'll talk to anybody. People cuss me, people give me, bad looks. I was just like, it happened in Lithuania. as I was telling people, Russ was coming back from USAPL. I was like, oh yeah, I met Russ in 2019, 2018. I hope you remember me. I'm gonna give him a big hug before the warm up, before the weigh in. He comes and he gave me a look. It drains my energy. I was like, oh shit, he's coming to kill me. Literally, I was with Anna there, I was standing, I sat on the floor. That's how much he drained my energy. I was just like, holy shit, he means business. He's gonna take everything I got today, right? So again, as I said, but during the competitor, as soon as they say the bar is loaded, when I give my headphones to my handle or whatever, it's a different person. I'm going on the platform to crush anybody else, whether your friend, your son, your mother, your whatever. I'm coming there to crush that number. If that number will beat you, I don't care. As soon as they say unrack, and then during the friends come back, where I'll say, I'm really sorry about what I did on the platform there. That wasn't me. Do you know what I mean? So I've learned how to differentiate these people. This is why when I fell on the platform, that's not me as fell. That's Jurins, the lifter, that did not execute. That's his problem. So next time when he get on the platform, he will get things right. Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah, I could see how taking that approach means that if you fail in that aspect, you don't think it's all of you that fails. It's not your whole identity.
That's just one bit of me that failed. Yeah. The rest of me, they're doing really, really well. They're healthy, you know what I mean? I'm getting older, my knees are not clicking yet. So, you know what I mean? So I'm good. Yeah. So, yeah.
I haven't heard about push being used as an acronym like that. And I was thinking with the SH, until something happens, does that mean the thing actually comes to fruition, or could the something happen mean that it doesn't actually work out?
Doesn't. Until something happens, right? The goalpost always moves. So I mean, so when you want to buy a house, you buy one house today. Oh yeah, I've done so well in life. But you look around and think about that person has got a double garage and a 3 parker. You know what I mean? My one is just a flat. Now something needs to happen for me to get that. You know, you get that. You're thinking like, yeah, but that person there, do you know what I mean? They have got literally a gate. I don't have a gate. So the goalpost always moves. So again, as I said, it's not like when you reach your first goal that you're not successful. Of course you are successful, but it's just like that pushing that goalpost a bit further. And funny enough, I always say, my dad said this once to me, he said, look, even in your deathbed, you still have goals that you haven't reached. Mm-hmm. Even when you're dying, you still will think about you have goals that you need to reach. Yeah. Right? When I was young, I was thinking, like, what do you mean? I'm dying. I'm leaving everything behind. No. The goal is, if you're a believer, you're dying, the goal is like, I'm going to rest for me to get to heaven. That's your goal. And when you go to heaven, you're thinking, what's the level of the higher to get to heaven, right? When you get there, thinking, can I get next to God? Do you know what I mean? So there's always goals. So that always push the goalpost further. But it doesn't mean you can't reach it. Yeah. But it's just like, it's a journey. Yeah. The journey is always long, so yeah.
With that kind of mindset, do you still take time to reflect on your success?
Yes and no. So I know it's great to reflect on everything you've achieved in life. It's fantastic to sit there and think, okay, I've done this, I've done that, I've done that. It's great. It works for people. But for me personally, especially in the sports that we do, success is history. That's for people to read. Success is a state or condition of anyway, so
thanks, sorry.
No, so yeah, to me, like, success it isn't the history books. It's for people one day to search and see how many world championship Jurins won, how many comp Jurins has done. That's not for me. For me, it's just what's tomorrow, what's in front of me. I don't really sit there at home and thinking, people have asked me this question many, many times. People say, has it sunk in thinking like you've won world, you're going to Sheffield? I was like, not really. No. So to me, world was, yes, winning world was fantastic in the manner it happened. Okay.
I think maybe
are they sensor lights?
Yeah, sensor. Yeah, cool. So yeah, winning world was fantastic. But in terms of me sitting there like thinking about the whole event, and I can just tell you what happened before world and what happened after world. On the day itself, I only remember bits. I don't know what happened in my mind or my brain. Literally, every time I watch it, I even went back, I had to watch the whole thing to remember what I was thinking in every single lift. I could not remember it. even the way my lift felt when I was lifting them, I could not remember them. You know, I don't have them in my head. So to me, it's like success is for historian, for people to read and find out what it is, not for me. Me, I just like say, okay, well done, you've done this. And then again, as I said, that pushing and the goalpost goes, what's next?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So what does it look like when, say like worlds, or when you're successful in that moment? Say was it 350 I think your deadlift was to win that, right? Like how does it feel when you successfully lift that up, it goes down, you got the lift, you know you won? Like what does that small moment there look like?
That particular lift, I remember this one, right? That lift, even every time when I talk about it, I do intend to get a little bit emotional. If I cry, guys, I'm sorry, forgive me on that. Before the lift happened, the event before the lift happened is, in my head, I was fighting for second, right, in my head. So I thought, okay, Russ has won, because I said almost like, I'm going to Lithuania to make sure Russ has 9 lift. So it does no, because the story was, he's gonna go in, get 3 squat, 3 bench, maybe 1 a deadlift or 2 deadlifts, and he said, that's what Evie did. I was like, if he does that, that means I failed, right? So the mindset was like, whether I win or I don't win, I need to make him to take that 3rd deadlift. He needs to mean it, right? Not just a joke. So after the second day, the pool went in and I sat there. At this point, I didn't know nothing. And then I watched him pulling that 3rd deadlift. Before even the loaded, I said to him, oh, Grass. At this point, I said that I'm second, right? So if I'm second, he beat me, he's a better man. So I don't have to hold grudges, right? I looked at him and was like, hey, it's 335, go and crush it. At this time, I didn't know that he needed that 335. Go and crush it, because I knew if he crushes it, that means I go and pull mine. At least I made him pull 3 deadlifts. You know what I mean? I won. And then Flex looked at me, and Matt Gary looked at me, and they gave me a smile. I was like, oh, cool. Maybe they say like, oh yeah, he's a good player and all of that stuff. And then I look at his demeanor when he pulled it. I was like, huh. For someone that was away for 2 years, has come in and won his 3rd world championship, and the way they were advertising him, pulling a last deadlift, that type of celebration, that means he's lost. That means he's lost. And then Paul said to me, do you want to be a world champion? I was like, what the fuck?
Yep.
Loaded. So again, when I pulled that deadlift, when they say down, what happened at that moment is almost, I can't not explain this to anybody. I wish some people can understand this. I had everything that happened in the past 8 years in a split of 5 seconds in my mind. And me being a strong-minded person as I am, I don't cry. As I said to you, like, I'm a Mrs. emotional person. I just sit there, don't do nothing. I could not hold it. That 5 seconds, when they say done, people will see me going back, just like standing there for a second. You know, I had 2018, 2019, 2021 in Sweden, you know, and I had Malta, I had South Africa, because South Africa, again, I flew to South Africa 14 hours before I left, right? Because life. All of that just came crashing at one moment. And I was just like, fuck. I've trained for 8 years just for one deadlift. What the fuck? So to me, if you want to ask me about success, how it felt, probably that's the only thing I remember. Yeah. That's the only thing I can say. That's how it felt. I kid you not, it did not feel good. It did not feel good, because it felt almost like I couldn't control myself. I couldn't remember where I was. I couldn't remember what just happened. I couldn't enjoy the moment, because all of those memories just came crushing my brain for 5 seconds. I was just like, what the hell is happening? So it was almost, I could again say success feels good when it doesn't feel good. You know what I mean? Yeah, because to me, like, if you celebrate success, it feels good, that means you didn't push hard enough. Do you know what I mean?
I've never heard success described like that.
Yeah, to me, that's how it is. It did not feel good at all. It felt really awful, because it's almost like, why have I been doing this for past 8 years? Come crushing in one moment. And then in my head, and now, last minute, I was thinking, why wasn't I this good before? You know what I mean? If I was good in 2018, 2019, 2022, and 2023, I would probably enjoy that moment because I wouldn't think about those championships. I wouldn't think about those failures. I would just be thinking about that one moment. But now I can't even think about my 350, which was awesome. All I'm thinking about, why wasn't I good in Malta? Why wasn't I good in South Africa? Do you know what I mean? What happened at the Euros? Why did I let Anna beat me with 380 deadlifts? I don't care, it's too much deadlifts, but why? Do you know what I mean? So it wasn't good for me, but yeah, I guess that's success to me.
Wow, it almost sounds like a blessing and a curse at the same time.
Oh, yeah.
I've never heard it described like that. Maybe we all good for time, Rob? I see you creeping in. Cool. To make it a little bit more tangible, you spoke about the sort of almost the different personalities that you have, and you are all these different people. How do you make that work in your week? Like, how are you a dad, someone who works a high corporate job, a very successful powerlifter? Like, how do you do all of these things in terms of like what it looks like tangibly? Like, how do you allocate your time?
It's being able to switch off and switch on, right? That's itself. It's a skill that I've learned over the years. Where, I mean, when I was younger, there's a saying that people will say, "Friends you make at university are friends for life." Right? So I had friends when I was younger. I played football, rugby, and all of that. I was able to learn my friends at football stays at football. When I'm home, I'm a son, I'm a brother, I'm an uncle. I'm not a friend from football. So I never used to bring my friends, my lifestyle from football at home. So when I went to university, the exact same thing I did. My friends at college stays at college, at football stays at football, and at university where our friends at university. And I've learned how to switch on and off those personas over the years. So the first thing I do, for instance, like when I finish work, when I log off from work, my work phone is switched off, number one. My work phone is switched off. I don't talk to my work colleagues, ever. Even if you text me, you're not gonna hear from me. Only one person talks is my boss, because, you know, boss is boss. You know, if saying hello, you say hello. So yeah, but my boss, we have a relationship with my boss now that is way beyond than just being a boss, because he comes to mine, I go to his trends and all of that stuff. So, but he knows it. I've said this to him. I said, my life is like, I have a box right in my head. That's my life. That box, I don't like that box getting bigger or smaller or longer. I keep that box really static. Right? So the way I do things is, as I said, when I finish work, I log off, turn my phone off. The next time you will hear from me again is at 8:30 or 9 o'clock tomorrow. Even if you're telling me, oh, the King of England won you. No, I'm sorry, Your Majesty.
Like setting boundaries.
Right? Yeah. So, but again, as we all know, we work. If I log on at 8 o'clock, if work takes me to 8 p.m., until 8 p.m. I'm in front of my computer. That's work. But as soon as I said I'm done, then I'm Jurins the lifter, because I always train after work, right? So when I log off, first of all, I work from home. I'm in a hybrid thing. I work from home. I wake up in the morning. I have my breakfast. I have everything I have to do. I put my training gear on. Right? And I know people say, like, you work with your singlet on. Yes, I do. I do. But I just don't put it on fully. I just don't put it fully, right? So I literally pull my singlet on, I pull my compressions on, I put my t-shirt on, no one will see me. I'm in front of a computer on Zoom. I work like that. When I log off, I finish. As soon as I'm finished, I'm leaving my office, I'm going downstairs straight to my garage. That's Jurins the lifter. I'll go in, do the training. When I finish, I close the garage, wash my hand, choke, that's done. And now, I'm a dad and a partner, all right? Give it kid. You know, that's what I always say to people. When you have got the lifestyles we all have, you always have to allocate your energy in every single room you're moving, right? There's energy for work, there's energy for training, there's energy for your family and your partner. These are really important because, especially I have a toddler. As soon as I finish, sometimes when I train, he comes in, he wants to train. By that time, I'm not Jurins the father. I'm sorry, I'm Jurins the lifter. I know you want daddy to be there. By that time, I have to be the lifter. So there's a moment where I take these drastic decisions, tell my missus, no, he can't come in. That guy that's training is not the same guy that he knows. right? So I train, I finish, and then I'm daddy. I got that extra energy to run around with him, flip, play, whatever, bath, finishing, give him a dinner, and put him to bed. When I put him to bed, and then I go to my missus, how you doing, Dad?
Yep.
Do you know what I mean? So we have dinner, and then literally, I've learned how to separate that. So the advice I always give people, again, as I said, have energy for every single room you're moving in, right? Because if you're going to a haunted house, if this room is scary, you'll save all the energy in that room. You know what I mean? Feel like I need to be on guard here. So it's the exact same thing, right? My training, fortunately for me, my training does not take a lot out of me. Although I have got a very intense training regime, intense training system, but it doesn't take a lot out of me because I've set my mind as like my training only gonna take 20 to 30% of my energy. It can't take a lot out of me. Right? And my work, I'll give my work 30%. So I know in my head, I've spent 60% of my day, 30 work, 30 training. That's 60%. I'll go 40% for Sophie and Laya. That's for them. So yeah, that's how I was, I'm probably able to do this. And I've always left that decision to Sophie to make. The day this woman will come to my guy and say, enough, I'll drop the barbell and I'm done.
Yeah, it almost sounds like it's down to your perception too. Like I think it's probably easy to look at your training like that's the hardest thing in your day. Like this is going to take all of my energy, whereas like the way you're perceiving it is only going to take 30%.
Oh mate, having a toddler, mate, believe me. Having the kids.
No, nieces and nephews with no kids.
No. I mean, this, when people talk, sometimes when I talk about my little one, people always say like, yeah, but we have kids, and people have kids. It's just a myth. Mate. So I think for me it's the mental resilience to raise a very energetic child. A child that, wake up 5 a.m. every morning. Even though when I have to go to bed, sometimes I train. I mind you guys, because of work, because of the lifestyle I live, especially when I turn up to the office, if I have to go to the office, I come home, I'm 9:30 p.m. I'm home. By the time I get him ready, I put him to bed, we're talking about 10 o'clock, 10:30. I will take pre-workout. At 11:30, sometimes I'm starting my training. And sometimes I finish at 1 in the morning.
That's insane.
Right? And then, sometimes I'm so shattered, I'm sorry for anyone who's gonna hear this, I'm not gonna shower. I'll just crash in the living room in the sofa. I'll crash, and 5 a.m. in the morning, Daddy, breakfast. I was like, what? Come on, it's 5 o'clock in the morning. You know what I mean?
Man.
So even though his mommy want him, mommy will be like, come with mommy. I was like, no, I want Daddy. And when he wants Daddy, he wants Daddy. At that time, I can't say no to him because that's his time.
Yeah.
You're not working, you're not training, you're just laying there. So it's my time. So I have to give him his time. So to me, that takes more energy than me loading a 300 kilos or me loading a 3 whatever or 1 whatever on bench press. Because that, again, when you're loading a 300 kilos, even though the quick Rob can't say that, but I only go 60 seconds, mate. After that 60 seconds, I forget about how that weight felt. But this little guy there, I still got him for 18 years. I was never gonna forget his face. And I would never want to forget what he wants. Do you know what I mean? So to me, that takes more energy than lifting. That's why I said my lifting does not take as much energy than being around with him.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Man, I appreciate the insights. That time went super quick. I don't even know how long that was, but Rob's giving me the thumbs up. So appreciate your time, man. You're a really good storyteller too. You made that easy.
I try to be. Thank you.